You are live. Well, I'm just going to wait for some people to get here and they can tell me if sound is all right or so on and so forth. Yeah, we're just trying this out. Let me see. Uh, Let me notify some people. Let me drop that link in there so people can know that I am live, just in case. I'm just going to wait until you get here. I trust that everybody had a good day. Oh, there's 2 people here? I don't see that information. Copy link. Oh, well, hello, 2 people. I don't know who you are. You can tell me. Let me see. Tracy. Funny thing, I just sent a text to my friend Tracy. Tell me how that works, eh? Is the sound all right? Let me get here. Let me do Insta and do this. There's that. And then do this. I'm just inviting people. Ooh, there's 4 people. Hello, Reese. Hi. It's good to see you. What are we going to be talking about today? Yes, my dear darling, you are the other Tracy. You are, and I love you nonetheless. Let me see. I'm just there. Let me see. Who else? I'm just sending out the link to people because I can't get it sooner because this was just so impromptu. But we're going to be talking about, we're going to practice actually. We're going to practice. So I hope you're in a place where you can practice. If you're not and you're driving, you'll practice in the other way, but we'll do it nonetheless. Does that make sense? There's 5 of us here. Let us get started, shall we? I sent out as many as I could. They'll come. So, I did a short today, and Ultra, it's good to see you. I did a post today, a short actually, where we were practicing the art of manifestation, right? You know, if you've ever listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza from a scientific perspective, and he speaks about the quantum field and feeling in your body, well, we know that that's the law of correspondence. So with the law of correspondence, you want whatever thought you have on the inside to match the feeling in your body. Because if you can sustain that feeling, because thought and feeling go together, right? As well as the action. If you can sustain that feeling within the body, then you will be able, the longer you can hold that feeling there, and frequently, you'll be able to manifest the thing. So if you are in a safe space, so if you're driving, right? Just listen, don't practice. But if you're in a place where you can practice, do so. So if I say to you, what does that invoke within you? What does that invoke within you? Does that give you a sense of, relax? Begin to feel a sense of relaxation in your body. The belly begins to relax. The shoulders relax. See? You're beginning to feel relaxed. See? So every time I say to you, you relax in your body. See if you can do that. Yes, Tracy, a sigh of relief. Does that make sense? I say to you, sigh of relief. And in your body, what do you feel? You feel relief, don't you? You feel a sense of calm, a sense of ease, a sense of relaxation. Right? The neck begins to relax, the shoulders relax, the belly relaxes, the jaw relaxes. Everything begins to relax. Now, if you say, you know what? I want peace of mind and relaxation. That's my state. That's my new lifestyle. Then, before you get out of bed, you tell your body, here's the feeling we're going to be looking for today. Here's what we're going to experience today. And you tell it, ease and relaxation. And you hold that feeling in your body, that sensation in your body, for at least 2-3 minutes if you can. If you can only hold it for 30 seconds, do that. But how many times can you do 30 seconds? Does that make sense? So now do you see how you begin to get relief? However long you can hold that 30 seconds, right? How frequently can you do the 30 seconds? Because the more frequently you do it, now you begin to bring more experiences in your outside world to match thought, feelings in the body, action. The example I used in the short today was, right? You think of something cute and soft and cuddly, right? That's what usually happens with, that's so cute. You think about pinching cheeks and you know what I mean? It's just so cute. But that cute feeling inside your body generated from the thought, if you can hold it for 30 seconds, 20 times a day. That's all you're focused on. And the feeling in your body as you say it in your mind. 30 seconds, 20 times a day. It's like a prescription, yes? And sooner or later throughout that day, you will encounter something that will make you say, and you'll have to touch it because it's so cute, right? That's the whole point. That's what we're doing. Does that make sense? Let me know if it makes sense. If you want more elaboration, let me know. If you want a specific example, let me know, and we'll generate the feeling so that you can practice. Does that make sense? I'll wait. And remember, while you're waiting, to like, share, and if you have not subscribed, please do so. Let me see if anybody has asked any questions. How about fun? I like that question because you see how it is? It's a general question. How about fun? You just want to have, what does fun mean to you? Fun means you're laid back and you have a ready smile or a good laugh, a good belly laugh. So what does that feel like to you? If you can recall something, right? If you recall something, what's that feeling you can generate in the body? Let me see if I can find the word for you. Yay, right? Something comes along and you're like, yay, that's so awesome. Like that made me laugh, right? If you say, oh my God, that made me laugh, or you remember something that was fun before. I know I just had a moment. I don't, I don't want to be crass at all, but I just did have a moment where somebody said something and I had that thought in my mind for a couple of days. And when they said it to me, I had to laugh because it reminded me of something that was funny. If you can recall something that is funny or somebody's laugh. Now, my bestie has the greatest laugh in the world. She just does. And every time I think about that laugh, I have to laugh. Right? So that's it. Think about somebody's laugh that you think is funny. Their laugh is funny to you because there's always somebody that we think about like that. Yes? So if their laugh is funny, yeah, think about that. And it will make you feel a particular way in your body. You will actually start to want to laugh. So if every time you think of that thing and you want to laugh, do it. 30 seconds. Be fully engaged in that laughter here and in your body. Feel it. How many times can you do it throughout the day? Can you do it 20 times, 30 seconds? See if you can do it that long. 20 times. There's 24 hours in a day, right? You can do it 20 times for 30 seconds. Yes? And if you do it, by the time you get to the end of the day or somewhere in the day, you will have to encounter something that makes you laugh. It seems trivial, right? But what if you wanted to start experiencing free things, right? What if you wanted to start experiencing free things? You'd be like, for me? No. Oh, thanks. For me? Really? You see how that made you feel? Now, what was that thing you wanted to get? Because you see it, and when you accept it, you say, for me, like, what if it was coffee? What if it was tea? What if it was $10? What if it was $20? What if it was $300? It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's something good that you want to have fun with. So begin to feel it in your body. When you say, for me? No way. You were thinking of me. And then you say thank you, because that's what happens when somebody gives you something. Yes, you say, oh, thanks. That's what you do. Delicate lace. I have not seen you in forever, my darling. Good to see you. But do you get what I'm saying? So what if it's money? Now, here's the thing. Normally, when people think of money, the first thing that comes to mind is, I could really use some more of that. I really need more money. What's that make you feel like in your body? Yeah. See how tight the body gets when you hear that? When you start thinking about, oh, I really need some more of that money. You see that feeling in your body? Now, how do you change that feeling? Well, you've gotten money before, have you not? Yeah, you've gotten money before. It doesn't matter where it's come from. If you want a $5 scratch ticket, it does not matter where that money has come from. The point of the matter is, if you remember getting money and it made you feel either shock because you're like, for real? Like the other day I told you, I had rented some equipment and I went to take it back and I was refunded my entire rental. And I was like, say what now? I was like, me? Is this? I felt like IKEA. Start the car. Like I had something that wasn't mine, but it was. So that's what I mean when I say, you know how you hear the commercial, start the car? It means you've gotten away with some kind of a deal. See how that makes you feel in the body? Because remember the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence tells you that thought must match the feeling in your body. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Do you feel what I'm saying to you in your body? Hey, Mozinga. Does that make sense? Like that I remember. This internet flows smoothly because that's what I want you to do. Remember, fun things. You know, I saw Kung Fu Panda a long time ago. The first one with Tai Lung, the snow leopard, right? Every time I see a picture of a snow leopard, I see Tai Lung when he's fighting Po, he bites his own tail. That was hilarious to me. But did you know what those tigers do? They chase their own tails because their tails are so big and so fluffy. And every time I stop and I think of Tai Lung and he's biting his tail, I have to laugh. Right? It's just something. And then once that feeling is in my body where that was just great laughter, how many times can I recall it? This is what you're doing. Because if you sit there and you're worrying and you're reminiscing and you're worrying and you're fretting, what are you doing? You are thinking that thought Oh my God, I'm so lonely. Lonely, I'm so lonely. Right? That's what you're thinking. So it feels that way in your body, and you start to feel sad that you don't have anybody in your space. But in order to manifest an SP, when you think of an SP, specific person, significant person, when you think of that person, the feeling in your body should be one of elation. I do have one for anticipation, right? When you stop to think about that particular person, if you feel heavy and weighted down and frustrated in your body, you don't correspond. The thought does not match the feeling in your body, at least not the thought you want. Because you say, I'm thinking of having this person in my life, but when I think of them, I feel a sense of loss and missing out. Those two things don't match. And because they don't match, you see the thought that's there, the true thought, when you think about your significant other, the true thought that you actually have about it is, I do not have this person. And because you are actually thinking that thought predominantly, your body says, I know you don't. I know you're lonely, and we feel that loneliness right here in the chest, don't we? And so because you go back to that thought and body feeling over and over and over, we don't have an SP. But in order to change it, think about this for a moment. Having an SP is a great thing, isn't it? A companion, somebody to talk to all the time, somebody to go for walks with. Is that not a beautiful thing to have? So then why? Why would you entertain the thought of, I don't have it? Then you can entertain the thought of, doesn't that feel really good to have it? Wouldn't, as Neville Goddard says, isn't that wonderful? You see, because you do want it. So if you want it, how does it feel in your body to have it? That's why the thought and the body have to match. Because if the thought and the body matches, then the experience match. It is the Trinity: thought, word, and action. Does this make sense? If not, ask a question and we shall elaborate more. How does it feel? How does what feel, Mozinga? How does what feel? Yeah, but that's it. Think about it. Think about the beauty of what you can do. We say change, right? And so we're swinging between staying the same. Right? So we have this thing. We're swinging between the two poles of staying the same and change. Right? Now, what makes us stay the same? We stay the same, A, because it's a habit, and B, we get disappointed when we think about change. I want you to change your perspective. When it comes to change, right, you're the one, because you're looking at polarity. You are saying, I am unsatisfied with this thing. So is it not a pleasurable thing to have the thing that you desire? So if it's pleasurable, why complain? Why say, I don't have it? I don't have it. And every time you entertain that thought of I don't have it, your body confirms that you do not, because it feels that way, does it not? Let me see. Okay, they're coming. But does that make sense? Does that make sense? You're swinging between I don't have or change and staying the same. What will keep you going forward so that you can change? Think about it. It is such a happy thing to look back and say, I don't have to struggle anymore. I don't have to worry anymore. I don't have to fret anymore. Why not? Because I'm practicing not doing those things. That's what you're saying to yourself. That's why change is beautiful, because you don't have to stay in the same position you were in. Muck 45. Do you hear it? You don't have to stay in the same position that you were in. You do not. You don't have to stay in the same position that you were in. And this is why change is beautiful. This is why the thought of change should excite you. Because you think about it. You're going to allow the habit of being broke to keep you there? Or will you learn a new lifestyle of, for me? Why, thank you. Practice that instead. For me? $100. What did I do to deserve that? All these things, when you think about the anticipation, change is beautiful. So if change is beautiful, continue to practice the change. Hi, Heed. Noah's sleeping. But anyhow, does that make sense? It's like you want to make more friends because you don't want to be lonely. You want to make friends. So what do you say to yourself? Ooh, look at that. Well, hi. How you doing? Because why? You used to struggle with being scared and shy to say anything to anybody. Right? You used to struggle and fret, oh my God, I can't talk to people. I'm so shy. But what if you said, well, hi, it's nice to meet you. My name is... And you see that feeling in your body? That person that is greeting you, right? They're just as excited to meet you as you are to meet them. So you say, hey, my name is, it's so nice to meet you. You begin to feel a particular way in your body. Even though you want to say, oh, she's crazy. Even though you might want to say that, you are generating a feeling in your body. Even if that feeling is, wow, that's absurd. I'd be such a loser if I tried that. You see that feeling? Capitalize on it. What have you to gain if you do it? A new friend, more money, a relationship, a better career. There are a myriad of things that you can benefit from if you would but simply embrace the change. I heard someone discussing today about breaking a horse. You know, the horse was wild, yeah? Now you have to condition it to live with a bit in its mouth and a whip on its side to do what you want. That's why they call it breaking it. You're breaking its old habit, its old way of being. Now, I don't like that analogy, but I understand it. The reason why I don't like the analogy is because you're taking something, right? We all seek freedom. We all seek freedom. That is the natural way of any sovereign being. You seek freedom. This is why if you are the one breaking and rebuilding, and still again, I don't like that phrase of breaking. You're not breaking. You are simply building a new way to be. So if you are building a new way to be, that's why. See? It does. Sometimes it can take more than a day, huh, Heed? Yes, sometimes it can. So why then, when it comes to us practicing a new habit, a new way of being, after 1 week we say nothing has changed. I'm still the same. You're not changing just any old thing. You are changing the thing that brings dissatisfaction in your life. That's what you're changing. That's why when you practice for 30 seconds feeling, oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's so sweet. It doesn't matter. You know that the minute you say that, it can only be something cute and sweet because that's the association between aw Every time you say that. But if you say, oh, I wish you would, that has its own association. And that makes you feel a particular way in your body. That's why when you are having that conversation with yourself, the minute you say things like, oh, I can't, see how the body responds? The body responds in confirmation because it must correspond as within, so without. Right? So as soon as you catch yourself, where do you want to be? What feeling do you want to have in your body? Right? Is it one of surprise? Now, do you like surprises? Now, surprises are good things. Of course they are. Well, here's the beauty. According to law, there are no surprises. But if you are the one saying, I'd like a surprise of roses. I'd like a surprise of tulips. I'd like a surprise of carnations. You see how it's not a surprise? But you can feign your surprise, meaning you can fake it. You can say, wow, you did that for me? You see how it feels in your body? It is back in high school when we were in choir, if you had to hit a high note, the voice teacher would tell you, you got to raise your eyebrows. Why? Because raising the eyebrows lifts the sound in the head. The sound in the head resonates because the head is mostly, it has all these cavities in it, the nasal cavities. That's what they're for, to resonate sound. So when you lift the eyebrows, the sound resonates. Now, if you had here's the beauty. You want to lift the sound into the head. But also, if you had a low note that you needed to get to, you would lift the eyebrows and bend the knees. Why? Bending the knees tells the body the load is no, the note is low. But raising the eyebrows says lift the sound, lift the resonance. So you see what you're doing on a daily basis. You are continually giving your body instruction about what to do. The key is to consciously sustain what you do. Consciously sustain it. 30 seconds. Hold that feeling. The warm and fuzzies. Oh. Hold it for 30 seconds. And after you hold it, go about your day. And when your timer goes off to remind you to do it again, do it again. Why? Because you are polarizing yourself in a particular direction. Well, you're being polarized all day, every day. You just may not know. For instance, if I say, agitate, that brings about something, doesn't it? You strongly feel something. You're polarized. Let me read this question. So even in uncertainty, hold what is certain. There is always certainty, Mozinga. Why is there always certainty? Because you are the one with that thought. Is the thought certain or not? If you look at yourself and you say, okay, I do not like that undesirable behavior and I want to stop it. You say you want to go from shyness to boldness. Is that not certain? From shy to bold, it is certain. So it's not uncertain. So you just keep saying to yourself, because you're going to practice it, right? You're putting it into your body, because the design of the body is to remember and to repeat what it remembers. So how does it get to remember something? You have to tell it over and over and over again until it remembers. That's what a habit is. Yes? So it may look like uncertainty. So if you say, I want to travel and I'm looking for a travel companion, you say, you know what? I'm glad you could come along on this trip with me. It's great to have a companion. Because that's a feeling of relief of having found the companion. It is the feeling of relief. Remember the sigh. Oh, I found my travel companion. That's so good. Oh, it's really good to have a travel companion. You don't know you're an answer to prayer. That's what you say. You say it here in your mind. But as you say it here in your mind, feel it in your body. Stimulate your body to feel what your thought is. because you are training the body to respond to the thought. For instance, Pavlov, you've heard of him. He would put the steak and ring the bell. Put the steak down and ring the bell. So that the next time, it was over time, that when he took the steak away and he rang the bell, the dog would salivate. Because he trained the dog to behave in a particular way at the sound of a bell. So the sound of the bell is the thought. And you are training your body to respond to the thought. So that when you take the thought away, you can still feel that sensation in your body. So that the sensation, so if you hear sigh of relief, your body responds to a sigh of relief. You are training the body to behave in a particular way. And when you train the body to behave in a particular way, however you train it, that is the way it will behave in that particular situation. That is what manifestation is. So you want to move yourself into increments of receiving money? How would you feel if you, listen, right? I told you when I came home and that care package was in my hallway. I opened up the envelope and there was a gift card for $100 in it. Well, you know me. I was like, you don't say. After seeing that entire care package, and I'm like, $100. I was like, wow. Like, seriously, that was shock and awe for me because they spent considerably more than the gift card was. But yet, they still gave the gift card. That was above and beyond. And so for me, in my body, I said, what? Really? The surprise. So now, when I want to generate surprise in my body about money, I'm like, for me? Wow, that was unexpected. Generate that feeling in your body. Generate that feeling in your body. And hold that feeling in your body for 30 seconds. And do it 20 times a day. Now, if you get tired of doing it, then you've lost perspective. The perspective is this: change is beautiful. Because change means you no longer have to stay the same. Think about it. If you were homeless and under the bridge and you got a house, is that change good? Would you come home to the house and go, you know what? I can't be here anymore. This is too unfamiliar to me. So let me go back to where it's comfortable. Literally speaking, that's what we're doing when we revert back to our old habits because we think it is hard to change. This is why Neville Goddard says to us, the desire to change must be stronger than the desire to remain the same. You are at polarity. Stay the same or change. And you've created a rhythm. 1 week, you're changing. The next week, you're the same. The next week, you're changing. The next week, you are the same. That is rhythm. What do you want to do? And be certain, Mozinga. That's why there's no uncertainty. Be certain about what it is that you want to do. Well, I want to... What is the job that you want to do? Because you know yourself better than anyone. And when you know that job that you want to do, and you have it here, how does it feel when you tell your bestie or your closest friend or whomever, you say, I got the job. And it pays and it's got great benefits. See how that feels? You see how that excitement feels in your body? Do you see how it feels in your body? Then that is the feeling that you sustain for 30 seconds, 20 times a day. Because if you're busy doing it 20 times a day, you don't have time to be polarized by hashtags. By the latest news. You don't have time for that. Thereby protecting yourself from being polarized. Because when you are polarized, you have just given your energy to somebody else. How do I know? Because when you give your energy to someone else, you can't give it to you at the same time. Because then you're not practicing. When you practice, you are refueling yourself. Think about it. A piece of apple pie, if that's your thing. If you love apple pie, now me, key lime pie, shoot, don't get me tempted because I'll leave this house and go get me a piece of key lime pie because it's not that far away. The thought of key lime pie, think about it, the thought of it, or whatever your favorite dessert is, as you put it on the spoon. You don't have a spoon of it right now, but if you put that imaginary spoon in your mouth, you can taste it. What does your body respond like? Now, if you do that for 30 seconds, 20 times a day, either you're going to go and get it or somebody will give it to you. But you will have to encounter it. Does this make sense? Ask some questions. I don't want to be yakety-yakking at you the whole time, so ask me some questions while I adjust my mic. I'm still getting used to this. Yeah, you guys get to grow with me, do you? You get to grow with me. Are there any questions? Let me go back up into the chat just to make sure that I've seen everyone and that I've answered questions. Yeah. So you see, we are living the laws of creation every single day. You generate a thought. You project it from your masculine mind to your subconscious mind, which is feminine. And then it begins to feel a particular way in your body, correspondence. And it makes you act that way. And the way it feels has a vibration. The vibration, you see that sigh of relief? Oh, that is a very high vibration. A sigh of relief is a high vibration. It is. But if you're thinking angry thoughts, well, then you better know that your body's feeling angry. And if your body's feeling angry and you were wound right up, you're going to have an argument. Yes? So, practice that. Practice generating that feeling in your body for 30 seconds. Generate it and hold it. Generate it and hold it. You see, that's the practice. To hold it. How long can you keep yourself polarized? And you see, here's the thing. That polarization makes for a very interesting topic. You see, that's why there's so much at you like this. It's flashing at you all the time. News, Twitter feed, Instagram feed, Facebook feed, right? It's at you like this all the time. What's that doing? It's keeping you polarized in any way it can other than you keeping yourself polarized. And when you keep yourself polarized, which means you keep yourself focused, you keep yourself focused where you want to be. Look at how much energy you are creating there in that space. You're creating a lot of energy. May you stay polarized because you're building momentum. Let me see that. Melissa. Nothing, Melissa, is synonymous about being repetitive for 30 seconds at 20 times. Nothing. But if you pay attention, if you try to do it for 30 seconds, you'll find that sometimes you can hold the 30 seconds and sometimes you cannot. So you build from 30 seconds to a minute and you increase the repetition. So instead of 20 times, 30 times. So what you're doing here is practicing how long you can hold that generated thought, meaning how long can you be polarized? Because I'm glad you asked that question, Melissa. What's the significance of it? 30 seconds, 20 times. As I just told you, it doesn't matter what feed you go down, whether it is Twitter or TikTok, it doesn't matter. It has your attention. And because it has your attention, you are going through a myriad of feelings in your body. Right? And none of them are focused. None of them are focused. Why? Scientists are telling you now that we can't hold our attention for more than 8 seconds. That's what science is telling us. We cannot hold the attention span for more than 8 seconds. What kind of momentum can you build if you can't stay focused for more than 8 seconds? Or stay focused on the same thing for 8 seconds. That is the key to developing your life. That is the key to manifesting consciously. You say you want a new job, but you can't stay focused for more than 8 seconds on the job and to generate the feeling of relief in your body for having that job. Well, then you have just increased the amount of frustration you feel about not having a job. That is the significance. Because if you don't have your own attention, who has it? And if they have your attention, what are they doing with it? It's not even that they're doing anything with your attention. It's just that if they take it from you, you can't focus on something, and nor can you create enough momentum to make it manifest. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I've been to some chats on live streams, and there's over 2,000 people. There's over 150 people. And I'm like, I've got 10 people in mind. Why? I don't know if I'm boring, but I don't know why. Right? I do, but I don't. You see, the design of the human is to be excited, to be entertained. I'm not entertaining you. I'm telling you how to entertain yourself. Right? I'm teaching you how to get ahead in life. I'm teaching you how to change your life. I'm teaching you so that you can stop saying things like, I had a shitty childhood. I had the worst life ever. You see, the more you go back and you think about that and you focus on it, those memories are in your body. And because those memories are in your body, you see them and you sit there and you think about it and you reminisce about it and you feel those old feelings again. Oh, what are you recreating? The same old experiences. But if nobody tells you that that's what you're doing, you will continue to do it. And then you will continue to say, why is my life the same? Why can't I change? Because nobody's telling you how to change. Melissa, yes. It's not the fact that you've done it for 20 times. It's the fact that you were able to create the longevity, the focus, the polarization of yourself. That is what brings about the change. Does that make sense? You see it? Do you not want to wake up in the morning and say, what a great life I've got? Don't you want to wake up and say that? Or do you want to wake up and say, oh, God, this shit again? Which one? In order to go from this shit again to what do you need to do? You need to generate that feeling in your body because it's the thought, right? It's the thought that's here that creates that feeling in your body. Generate it. Can you generate it? And can you hold it? And if you can generate and hold it, how long can you hold it and how long can you repeat it? Because the longer you hold it and repeat it, the faster you get to experience it in your world. That's why when you hold on to things like resentment, oh, it's always on your mind, the person who you resent and how they hurt you. And it's in your body. And so the more it's in your mind and in your body, the faster you get to encounter that experience day after day after day. So that's why when you want to manifest, when you want to say you want to go from broke to not broke, you want to go from no money to money. If you spent your day thinking about, oh my God, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough. Where's your momentum? Where are you polarized? Because why? You have practiced it, you're feeling in the body, and you are holding it and repeating it often. And the longer you hold it and repeat it, the faster you experience it. That's why if you're going to focus from no money to money, you've got to create the feeling of relief in your body about money. It's one of the most challenging things to do. But that's why I say, if ever you have been given money, if ever you found money anywhere, it doesn't matter the denomination of what you found. What matters is, can you recreate the feeling of surprise at having found it? Oh, look what I found, $100. And you look around, you're like, start the car, because you think somebody's going to come and get you. If you can generate that and sustain it day after day after day, that's why 20 times is important. Just do it for as long as you can with that singular focus. And that's why I tell you today, this is why this space has 10 people. Because you are the ones who want to change your life. You're the ones willing to practice and put in the work. I have no juicy tidbit to tell you. But I will tell you this juicy tidbit, though. If you find that you hear a juicy tidbit and it riles you up, recognize that you have been polarized. And if you have been polarized, you have lost sight of your own singular focus. And once you lose sight of your singular focus, you will not accomplish it. Can you imagine a world full of satisfied people? Well, double A vibes, it's nice to see you, my darling. It is nice to see you. Imagine a world of satisfied people. A world of people where nobody wants anything and they're not in competition with anybody. Why? Because they notice that they can do it for themselves. Can you imagine a world like that? I think we call that utopia. But what if now, look at it the other way. Look at all these people running around in angst, in frustration, dissatisfaction. And you wonder why everybody is angry? They're not angry with you. They're angry with themselves because they cannot accomplish what it is they set out to do. Mozinga, you must polarize yourself. The question was, polarizing oneself is okay though, right? Indeed it is. You must practice polarizing your own self, or someone will polarize you. That's the law. Right? To polarize oneself means to lean in the direction, meaning 30 seconds, 20 times a day. You're polarized where you want to be in anticipation of what you are creating. You rub your hands together with glee and you say, oh, look at what I get to create. I am creating whatever that thing is. And then the more you stay focused and you keep that feeling in your body, you can do what my boy says, rise, my creation, rise. Oh, listen, every time I want to create something, I think of him and I'm like, oh, this nutmeg, he's so crazy. And all he said was, rise, my creation, rise. And I remember that. And I remember it and I feel it in my body and I am reinforced that, yeah, I'm on the right track. And I stay there. Indeed, Tracy J. All changes start with the mind. Why? Because the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. That's what it is. Right? If you are driving down the street and you look at the gas prices and you go, you clutch your pearls and you go, good God, is it going to get any lower? Don't do that. Why? Because the minute you say, you are hinting at the fact that, that's so much, I can't afford that. That feeling is in your body. And every time you drive by it and you see it, you say the same thing. You are reinforcing the feeling in your body. But what do you say instead? Good thing is I can pay that. Yeah, I can pay that. I got more than enough money to pay that. And you generate that feeling. What is that feeling? Relief. Would you not be relieved if you go and, when you swipe your bank card, you don't sit there and go, please go through, please go through, please go through, please go through. You don't do that, do you? Why? Because you are relieved. You have relief in what? Knowing what you've got. That's what it is. You see now, somebody said to me the other day, Angela, I heard you whisper in my head, the laws. That is the law at work. Listen, if you remember that it is the law at work, you will be reminded what to do. You will be reminded that it is your thought that creates the feeling in your body, and those two things correspond. And when you act, oh, you have a trinity. Double A vibes. Change is ever evolving with a purpose to grow from the unexpected, to expect my growth from tree to seed. Yes, you plant the seed. Yes, you plant the seed and you water it. How do you water it? By staying focused on it for 30 seconds with that feeling in your body 20 times a day. That is how you water and weed your garden. Because in due time, what have you done? You see, you think it is just a practice, but I want you to look down the road. What are you doing? You are developing a lifestyle. You are developing the lifestyle of abundance. Why? Because you are practicing generating the thought, feeling it in, generate the thought, stimulate the feeling in your body so that you will experience it, because the thought and the stimulated feeling in your body must match the experience on the outside. So that is what you are doing. And if you do that day in and day out, you will begin to recognize that you don't stop to say, oh, but I can't do that. You do not entertain an unsavory thought. Why? Because the unsavory thought creates a feeling in your body. And you know how we like those things sometimes. We reminisce and we ruminate on them, don't we? Doing what? 30 seconds, 20 times a day, and then dun, dun, dun. You manifest it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you today? Mozinga. So when you can't find a solution, you can focus on the feeling of having found the solution. Oh, hallelujah. There it is. Yes. What is that? Cause and effect. Every cause has its effect, but every effect also has its cause. You cannot have a problem without a solution. So if you don't know the solution, generate the feeling of relief of having found the solution. And what happens? The more you generate that feeling in your body, because it's visceral. It is. You walk down the street like I did when I was 8 and there was a pit bull. Let me tell you something. I was the Flash. Okay. I ran all the way home and jumped over the guard wall. It wasn't very high. It was like yay high to me, so I could just jump over it. I never ran so fast in my life. All I did was see the dog and my heart rate sped up, and I was like, whew, I better get home before he don't bite me, right? And all I did was see the dog. And the feeling was already in my body to run, fight or flight. This is the design of the body, so use it for your optimal gain. Use your body for the optimal gain by maximizing its natural function. Feelings are not just willy-nilly. We don't just have them. But generate the feeling you want to have and repeat it over and over again, like I have repeated it today. And you'll begin to generate that lifestyle. And then you'll go down the street and you'll be like, for me, look what I found. Oh, I got free coffee. Girl. Why? Because you just get free things. Doesn't matter. Like Helen Hadsel. She was known as the queen of manifesting things. It didn't matter what it was. She wanted a trip to France. And a contest came up. She entered the contest. The first time she entered, she did not win. But she didn't lose heart, did she? Why? Because she wanted to go to France. She saw the little cafe table that she was sitting at with her croissant. She saw it. And she said, well, that's what I want. And the feeling in her body of that anticipation of having experienced it and going through it, that's what drove her. So she entered again. She won it. Even when she entered the contest for her son to win a bike, he won it. Do you see what I'm saying to you? The contest queen, I'll link her in here because it's just one of those things. Right? That's what we do. What was I doing? I think I was messaging you, Mozinga. I think we were talking and I said, I'm going to go live. Like I opened my mouth and it came out and I typed it and I was like, thought, feeling in the body, action. And here we are. And I told you the first time it happened, I hemmed and hawed for an hour before doing it. And I said, after that encounter, I said, you know what? Next time I get that thought, I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to do it. This is the third time now that I've done impromptu. So does that make sense today? I trust that it does, because now you begin to understand. I go on Reddit a lot and I lurk there and I read the questions and I read people's comments and they say, I can't continue like this. I'm at my wit's end. I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm done with manifesting. What do you think is happening there based on what you just learned? The thought is, this doesn't work. So the body says, well, you're right. And so you get this angst and this frustration, that feeling of loss. It doesn't work. So you're looking in the 3D world for what? It can't work if you're saying here it doesn't and your body says it doesn't. How can it work if you're looking out there for it? It doesn't. And so all these people are frustrated. They're frustrated. I got kicked out of a lot of groups by saying, hey, you gotta, practice this. And it wasn't what they wanted to hear. So I don't say anything anymore. So when I see those statements of, I've been trying for 5 years. I've been trying for 5 years. I think it was Melissa who asked me the significance of 30 seconds times 20 times a day. Can you imagine how many times it was in 5 years that they said, this doesn't work, I don't have it yet? The sense of loss in the body has got they are polarized at loss. That's why they keep reaping the loss of it. Double A, let me read your question. So is it, let me read it, let me see. So is it you have to see to feel them, believe in them? So you're asking me if you have to feel, then believe in the manifestation for it to be a reality? The thought, the minute you say, oh, I want that, that's a thought, right? It's okay, you recognize that you want something. What are you going to do with that want? Are you going to keep wanting it? Or will you generate the feeling in your body of relief of having it? Oh, couldn't have come at a better time. How timely. I got what I wanted. That begins to feel a particular way in your body. Now, you can't lie to yourself, because if you say, well, I don't have it in my hands, you might not have it in your hands, but there is a memory of you having received something that you wanted and the relief of having it. This is the design of the body. It remembers and it repeats what it remembers. So if you draw up the memory of having received something, it doesn't matter what you received. You could have received a dinner roll with something that you ordered, but you were like, oh, that's nice. That really hit the spot with the gravy. You see that feeling of relief of having received it? The body doesn't know that it's bread you're talking about. It just knows the feeling of relief of having gotten it, based upon the memory of you having gotten something before. So that's the feeling you stimulate. You You stoke the embers of that feeling and you bring it back, because we do that already, because that is the design. Right? So, double A, does that answer your question? Mozinga. So what about when you think, I can't do this, but it's okay because you don't want to do it anyway? I like your question. You can't do that, right? But you don't want to do it anyway. This is where honesty with self comes in. Because what is that thought? I don't want to. That's the thought. But sometimes we do things we don't want to do. Why? Because we want to please somebody else, because you don't want to be rejected. You see, when you don't peel back the layers, you don't always understand why you do what you do. But cause and effect. When you start to practice this, right? Consciously practice it, like deliberately practice it, to recall that particular feeling in your body. When you start to do it, if you begin to feel, oh, I don't believe you, I doubt that, like you're telling your body that, I don't believe that, I doubt it. Go back in your memories and find something that you encountered, right? That matches that feeling. That's what your body does all day, every day. Scanning, scanning, scanning. Memory detected. Initiating old program. That's what it does. Double A, I am pleased. I'm pleased for you because you know why? I get to hear your success stories, so I am eagerly in anticipation of it. Right? I am eagerly awaiting your success stories. You know why? Because when I open my emails and I read people's successes, I know what that feels like in my body. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, they did that. Because then they recognize what they're capable of doing. And I just get to throw confetti, right? And because I get to throw confetti and have that feeling of elation, if I want to find that feeling of elation again for anything I want in my life, I can draw upon it. I can remember. I can reminisce. See? That's why you don't ever give up on something that it is that you want, because it does not give up on you. You know why? It haunts you. It does. It does. So find a way. What is my email? Oh snap. Positivelyangela@shaw.ca. Let me, one moment please. That is the email. Yeah. I just set it up the other day. So if it bounces, bear with me. If it bounces, bear with me. I'll get it set up. I'm practicing my tech savvy ways. Because Lord knows I'm not, but I'm getting better. Yes. Ask my bestie. She'll tell you. She'll tell you how many times you just have to preach it. Do what I tell you to do, Angela. I'm like, yes, I will. Right? So I'm learning. I'm learning to be tech savvy. But the feeling of relief is good to draw from, to remind myself what I'm doing. So that's why I tell you today, you do not give up on something that you want. When you say you want, generate the feeling in your body, because now you have. So that you can take yourself, because remember, you can take yourself from a state of wanting. If you are in a state of wanting, ooh, I want that, I want that, I want that. That builds frustration because you never have. You're constantly wanting it. But if you say, I want that. Generate the feeling in your body of relief, of, you know what? I'm so glad I have this. It makes my recordings sound so much better. Oh, yeah. I swear, maybe that's exactly why I got my refund. Because I love the way this little gadget worked. And I was like, oh, yeah. I'm gonna rent that. And so I did. And then when I fell in love with the sound of it, I was like, oh, that's nice. I want that. And I got my rental fee back. You see, practice the thought. You want it? Yes. Generate the feeling of it in your body because there is a record of it. There's a record. Your body is like this giant Rolodex. You say, find me the feeling of elation. Find me a time when I was excited. Because what do? We say, find me a time when I was sad. And you remember all the sad songs, and then you get, and you start to be sad. But if you say, find me the feeling of, list that feeling, indifference. Right? Oh, you can generate indifference in no time flat. But you see, because we don't sit there and say, find me the feeling of, because we don't sit there and do that, we don't believe that we do it. How do you know that you're doing that? You're doing it because you have the thought of it. And the minute you have the thought of it, your body says, ooh, I know where that is. Locating, and it finds it for you, and you feel it in your body. What is the correlation between time and rhythm? Oh, Mozinga, what a beautiful question. Everything changes with time, right? Everything passes through time. But you see, rhythm is a definition. The ebb and the flow. How many times does it ebb? How many cycles does it ebb? How many cycles does it flow? That is time. Tracy? Exactly. The body is extremely good at remembering experiences, even the ones you have forgotten. Right? And that is why, if you use the body the way it was designed to be used, you can hack it. It remembers. So choose the memory you want it to remember, to recall, and invoke it. Hold the memory, right? Which is the feeling in your body for 30 seconds, 20 times a day. I am expecting to hear what it is that you did and what you got, because I'm going to be doing the same exercise as you with more focus, right? That's what this causes us to do, is to be more focused. Does that make sense? Mozinga, I trust I answered your question. You see, we just figured out a way to measure the cycles, Mozinga. You see, between the ebb and the flow, because that's rhythm, yes? Ebb and flow. All we did was figure out, or we didn't figure mathematics out. Mathematics was given to us. We learned to measure the space between the ebb and the flow, and that is what created time. Does that make sense? Oh, that's why seasons. You usually get a quarter, right? 4 months, 16 weeks between the seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, these are the fun things we get to do, like January 27th coming up with the Q&A. Always get your questions in. What's today? Today's the 21st? 6 days remaining. Get your questions in. so that we can go through the step-by-step process so that you can master the art of living deliberately instead of being tossed to and fro from the outside. Does that make sense? The ebb. Low tide is ebb. High tide is flow. Anytime something recedes, it is an ebb. Does that make sense? So it's EBB, ebb and flow. Something slows down and then it goes forward. Think about the pendulum. The pendulum swings, ebb, flow, ebb and flow. Living with sovereign, double A? Yeah, you are a sovereign being. That's why when you recognize that you are sovereign, you stop saying things like, why is God doing this to me? Why am I being punished? You stop saying things like that. Because you're not being punished. The law does not punish, nor does it reward. It simply gives you as within, so without. That's why you're always encouraged by way of law to think the highest of yourself. Why? Because then you become the highest of yourself. I trust that makes sense. Now, I don't want to keep you too long because you know I can. You know I can yakety yak. But make sure, if this has triggered any questions for you, jot them down. The email is in there. Oh, let me put it in. Let me put it in again. Or you can DM me on any of my platforms. There's the email again. Or you can DM me from any of my platforms. Like I said, if that bounces, right? That's okay. Because I just set it up. So I don't know if there's one more thing I need to do. I have no idea. But exactly, Ms. M. Or you can save your questions for my special Q&A on January the 27th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right? And for access to that, if you are double A, if you are Tracy J, you are already in there. But if you haven't joined on YouTube or Patreon or Fanbase, then it is $9 to attend. I have it posted in my community tab on YouTube. I completely forgot where I was for a second. Mozinga, what a beautiful question. You see, now I grew up on an island, right? So high tide, I don't even know if a Sonia is here. Then I was back home. If it was high tide, the walk that I could take along the beach, I could not do because the water was right up to the wall. So I couldn't walk there anymore. All the sand was covered by water because the tide was in. The tide is influenced by the moon. So the tide was in. That was the flow. So I had to wait for a day or two for the tide to recede and ebb. And usually, if you're on the coast of Scotland or Ireland, you'll be digging for clams at the low tide because now you can walk on the sand. That's what ebb and flow means. It means there's a time, for instance, sleeping, resting, napping. That is an ebb. Awake is a flow. Your thoughts, because this is where polarity, you see, this is why you can't separate the laws. Polarity and rhythm, it's the vibration that influences the movement between the two poles that creates the rhythm. Make sense? So remember, if there is a lifestyle question for the Q&A on January the 27th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bring it. And we will look at it through the lens of the law, step by step, because there are 7, right? And so we're going to use them to sort ourselves out. Does that make sense? So, I look forward to seeing you all there. Like I said, I've already got the list ready. I've got some questions in, and they're anonymous, by the way. I know who was asking the questions, but they're anonymous to you in the group. But we'll be asking the questions and answering them. Make sense? So, oh, goody. I'm glad it makes sense. Thank you for your continued support of this channel so that we can keep bringing the truth to you, so that you can change your lives, so that when you walk around in the world, you can see exactly what's going on and you can know how to act accordingly to get your best results. Right? That's what we're doing. Day in and day out. This is a lifestyle. It is not a thing to do. It's not a fad. This is not bell bottoms and platforms. It is a lifestyle. And that's what we do. So I see, there's 17 people here. If you have not already introduced yourself, please do so that I can acknowledge your presence. Well, you're welcome, Double A. Ms. M, you're awesome. Thank you. Mozinga, I see you. Tracy J. There's some people I missed tonight. Reese, I don't know if Reese is still here. Ultra, I don't know if Ultra's still here either. Yes. So that's all I was going to tell you. So if there are no more questions, you can replay this video. And, get those questions. Slide those questions into the DMs so that we can answer them for you. And so that you never have to remember to come somewhere. Join my YouTube or join Patreon, because the course is over there and lifetime access to it. Melissa, you are so welcome. Why, thank you. And Tracy, thank you as well for being here. Double A, Mozinga, Ultra, Ms. M, you guys are all awesome for being here. Do consider joining YouTube memberships. Do consider that. As I say, they start at 99 cents per month, where you can always have access to this information or special things for those who want to go deeper to understand more. Yes? There you have it. If there are no more questions, I will catch y'all on the flip side. I will see you Monday morning for morning inspiration at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Watch for the notification. In order to get that notification, though, you must click the bell when you subscribe to the channel. And share, like, and subscribe to the channel. Yes? Alrighty.